What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So today's topic of discussion is going to be on my journey from enlisted to officer in the military. I received this question from Be Rich, and I'm going to read you the question and try to answer this question to the best of my ability. If I miss something or if I skim over something that you don't have a good understanding about, feel free to either inbox me, email me. My email is in the description box, or leave it in the comment area. I would prefer you leave it in the comment area so that others can see those questions. If they have the same question, they can also receive that answer. So let's get started. He says, or she says, I'm not quite sure. It says, "Hi, I randomly saw a comment on Sweet Calore's channel about you going enlisted to officer. I am thinking about enlisting, but I already have a degree. I am going that route to get the training and national cert for medical technology and bonuses, etc. I have quite a bit of student loans, so the benefits of enlisted cater to my needs currently. But eventually, if I choose to make a career out of the Army, I plan to commission. I looked to see if you had a video going enlisted to officer, but I didn't see one unless I overlooked it. Can you please give me some insight on your journey? Thank you." So that was the question. So, okay, as some of you know, if you are following and subscribe to me daily, you know that I am in the military, the Army, to be specific, and I am an officer. But once upon a time, I was enlisted as well. Sorry, you guys. So I joined the Army when I was 17. My parents had to do a consent or give consent for me to join because I was not 18 and I was still in high school. And once I graduated from high school, I went to basic training in AIT. I was a 92 Alpha, which is Supply Logistics Specialist. And I was in the National Guard. So I didn't go straight to active duty when I joined. I joined as a National Guard soldier. So after I came back from AIT and basic training, I started going to a junior college in my area, and I went there for about a year before transferring to a university. And once I got to that university, I joined their ROTC program. Once I joined the ROTC program, I became I did the Simultaneous membership program. So basically, what that stands for is I'm still a soldier in the Army. I'm still in the National Guard. However, my contract switched over to fall from under the Army to under ROTC, which also made me non-deployable, and it took me from being a E4 specialist to a E5. I was considered a cadet, but I was getting paid as an E5 sergeant. So I did the ROTC program for 4 years. When you start your MS1, then you go to MS2, 3, and 4. And basically, going through ROTC, what can be a little frustrating if you already have Army knowledge, because everything that you're learning is things that you've learned while you were in basic training in AIT. Well, not so much as AIT, but things that you learned while you're in basic training. Whereas a lot of your peers may not have a Army background with active duty or with National Guard or with the reserves. So they're learning these things for the first time. And so if you already know them, sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating, but you can also take that opportunity to help your peers out to understand things that they may not have an understanding on. So the first year is definitely, well, I say the first and second year is definitely just basically learning fundamentals of the Army, DNC, which is drill and ceremony, basic fundamental stuff like that. Then you move on to your third year, where you begin to really operate and learn different leadership traits and be in different command positions, or You can also be in different staff positions, so you may learn something around the human resources field under S1. You may learn some things about being in the S2 military intelligence field, or S3 operations, S4 logistical field, signal field as S6, and so on and so forth. So basically your whole third year and fourth year is learning how to operate in those leadership positions. Also in your third year, you attend what's called the Leadership Development Assessment course, for LDAC, where basically at LDAC, you attend LDAC during your summer year. I feel like I'm kind of chopping this up, but you attend LDAC during your summer year, and at LDAC you are assessed over all of your knowledge when it comes to what's it called? Yeah, I'm having a brain fart. Basically your tactical skills, like your land navigation, if you were in a position to take fire, how you would lead your troops through this mission, different mission analysis and stuff like that. That's what that whole assessment about. It's assessed, you're assessed on your leadership skills, how well you communicate, your command presence in front of people, how well you perform. Your PT test which is your physical fitness test, is a big part of this assessment as well. It's like one of the first things you do when you get there. So if you don't even make it past that point, you're automatically kicked out. And so that's what you do your third year and what you're assessed over your third year. And based upon how you do in LDAC, will determine where you fall in the OML, the Officer Merit List. And your OML is something that you want to, basically you just want to do good, because this evaluation determines whether or not you get your first choice in a job or second choice in a job. It determines whether or not, if you want to go active duty, whether or not you get active duty or not. Not everybody wants to go active duty when they graduate. A lot of people decide to go reserve, or they decide to go National Guard, which is completely fine, of course. Once I became a simultaneous member, once I did the simultaneous membership, I received a stipend every month from ROTC, and as you progress in your second, third, and fourth year, your stipend increases. So I received a stipend while I was in ROTC, which helped out greatly. And let's see, once I graduated from ROTC, I commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Army. And from there, you go to what's called your officer basic course. Each person goes to a different officer basic course depending on what job they were selected, or whichever job they selected if they got their first choice. So my first choice was medical service. My second choice was AG, which is human resources basically, and my third choice was to go back into the logistical side of the house like I was when I was enlisted. So I did not get my first choice, but I got my second choice, but there was a catch. So I was branch detail. Basically what branch detail is, you're loaned out to one of the combat arms branches for about 36 to 48 months, and you serve in that job for that amount of time, and then after that period of time you go to what's called the Captain's Career Course. And you go to the Captain's Career Course for your actual branch who loaned you out. So my loaner branch was AG, which is S1, which is what I am now. And I feel like I just completely lost y'all, and I'm sorry if I did. Yeah, if I lost you guys, just comment below and let me know where I lost you at, and I'll try to explain to the best of my ability. So yeah, so now I'm serving AG, and when you go to that officer basic course and when you go to the Captain's Career Course, basically you're learning how to perform your job, but you really get your experience on the job training. That's how you get the experience and the knowledge of your job. Like no school, honestly can teach you everything you need to know, like actually doing the job. So I'm basically serving as a AG officer now. I would say my experience as a whole has been pretty good. I cannot complain. I do love the Army. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have my days, like it's one day at a time, you know, just living this Army life. There can be frustrations, especially going from officer to enlisted. I believe that it definitely helps to be enlisted first, but that is definitely not the journey that you have to take. And don't feel like you have to be enlisted first before you can become an officer. You don't have to do that. There are 3 different ways you can become an officer. You can go through ROTC, you can go through OCS, which is Officers Candidate School, and you can go green to gold. The difference in those 3 are ROTC. You can either come in like I did and already be in the National Guard Reserves, or you can be a brand new college student on campus who decides, hey, I want to join the military, and I want to be an officer. So you just start ROTC and they teach you everything you need to know from there. Or you can do Officer Candidate School. With Officer Candidate School, basically you are already active duty. You already have your degree and you go before a board of panelists and you interview for the position. And you can do green to gold. With green to gold is basically you are already an active duty soldier and the Army is sending you back to school to get your degree, and while you're getting your degree you are joining the ROTC program. So once you complete your required time with ROTC, you go straight back onto active duty as a commissioned officer. So those are the 3 different ways, 3 different routes that you can choose. Basically, you have to obviously decide which one and which category you fit into. Like I said, being an officer it can definitely be challenging. It can definitely be frustrating. Just as with being enlisted and moving up in the ranks, once you become, you know, staff sergeant, sergeant first class, and master sergeant, sergeant major, like all of that, it can be frustrating. I mean, it can be frustrating, you know, being a PFC and a private. So it doesn't change at all. I definitely say that if you are considering joining the Army, it's a day by day walk. Some days you'll love it, some days you can't stand it. That's just how the cookie crumble. But I definitely enjoy the benefits. I've definitely enjoyed all the people that I've met along the way. One thing I could probably do without is the politics, but you know, you're gonna have politics whether you're in the civilian sector or whether you're in the Army. So it's just something you have to deal with. Just with the Army, you got to deal with it a different way. What else? Let me see. Let me make sure. I did graduate debt-free. The Army paid for all of my schooling, just using my GI Bill, the stipend that I received from ROTC, and my money that I received when I do my drilling with the National Guard, and my training that I did in the summer through the National Guard. All of that sustained me to make it through school debt-free and without getting a job until I did have to get a job my senior year, because by that time I had used all of my GI Bill. So it was definitely worth it to me. And it's definitely worth it now. I do believe some of the benefits of being enlisted before becoming an officer is you do get to understand the soldier mentality. We're all soldiers, let me put that disclaimer out there. But you do get to understand the enlisted soldiers' mentality, thought process, and what it is that they go through. And so it helps you better lead, in my opinion. But there are still some great officers who did not do that process. So don't think you're any better than anybody else just because you did it first. Let me think. Am I forgetting something? I think that's it, guys. I want to say that's it. So yeah, I hope that this video was informative for you. I hope I did not miss anything, and I hope I didn't confuse you. And I hope, Be Rich, I hope I answered your question. And if you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, or you want to share your experience, leave it in the comment section below. I would definitely love to hear. I would definitely love to answer any questions that you guys have to the best of my ability. Stay tuned for another video. I plan to do a video on my experience through air assault school, so definitely stay tuned for that. So in order to stay tuned, that means you know what you gotta do. You gotta go and hit that subscribe button, and you might as well just go ahead and turn on that little notification so you know when I upload. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, see you later. Bye.